Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started here. I know we still have some people that are trickling in, but we'll go ahead and go over our logistics information that we have here. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Platform Analytics. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. Just real quickly, like I said, we'll just go over some logistical information and we'll get right into the presentation that we have today. As usual, this is for you. So please take, full advantage of it and, ask any questions that you may have. And, the idea behind these are to, bring you fresh ideas and better understanding of some things that are already out there. And of course, some practical guidance where we can to anything that is inside the platform as well. So this will be recorded. So you can sit back and just watch. You don't necessarily have to take notes because it will be available to you later. If you want to take notes, that's great as well. But it will be out on this event and in the community, and also we'll have it out on YouTube as well. And there will be there is a Q&A section. So please, if you have questions, feel free to ask. If you could put those in the Q&A box itself right there, rather than putting it in the chat, we'd really appreciate that. We do have other people outside of the presenters here that will answer questions as they can. If questions come in that are relevant to this the topic and also the certain section that we're going over, we will stop and ask those questions rather than waiting all the way to the end. And at the end, when we get to the actual Q&A section, if we can get to any questions that are unrelated to the content going over today, we'll try as hard as we can to get to those, but we will answer the questions related to the content first. If we're not able to get to those, then you definitely can put a question into the community and tag any one of us, and we'll help you with that. So today, we're going to be talking about conversational analytics and the dashboard and everything that comes with that. I am the host, Thomas Davis, and today we have on two presenters. We have Victor, and then we also have on Shesh, who will be going over, like I said, conversational analytics and some really in-depth information about that. So if you're unfamiliar with what it is, they'll show you what the dashboard is, and then also talk to you about all of the things that come in there, and also go over some how-tos of how you can create some things that go on that as well. As well as us, we also have some panelists on today. So Adam Stout and Tara Romero and Dan Kane, who are all on my team, are here as well. They will answer questions in the Q&A if they can. And if they need to chime in, they definitely will as we get further along into it. So again, with that, I'm going to turn this over to Victor, and we're going to go ahead and get this presentation started. Victor, you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for the introduction. Like he mentioned, I'm an outbound product manager for conversational interfaces. And what that essentially means, for those who are unfamiliar, is Shashikant and I are product managers for Virtual Agent, Agent Chat, and Advanced Work Assignment. And today we want to share the Conversational Analytics Dashboard, which is essentially a dashboard to measure the effectiveness and the usage of your virtual agent. So for those of you who are using the virtual agent, you can actually measure and communicate the ROI that you get with the virtual agent to your stakeholders or to your team. The agenda is much like every other academy. We'll do a little bit of a slide deck overview, and then we'll jump right into the instance with Sesh. So an overview again of the analytics dashboard. It is new as of the Quebec release, and then in the Rome release, we do have new features which coincided with the store app release in the fall. So the analytics dashboard is a store application. And some new features we've released is a deflection tracker, which we're going to go over in a moment, funnel builder and funnel widgets. So if you know about funnel graphs and kind of get a sense what that's about, again, we're going to go over that in a bit. Saved views for conversations and users. You can save a view or save a dashboard that you like seeing. And then we have new metrics for one of our features, issue auto resolution. So you're going to hear the word deflection a lot today. And, what does that mean, or what does that word mean in this context? Well, deflection means that a user, a virtual agent end user, has had their issue resolved without creating a ticket or interacting with a live agent. So that is the goal of the virtual agent, is to automate your most common end user tasks and questions and issues without getting live agent involved. That way, the live agent, they can concentrate more strategic and more important goals and issues. So that's our definition, right? But you can also create your own definitions. So you can create your own custom deflections, again, which we'll go over in a moment. But we do try to provide you with as much out-of-box information as possible. And with the goal of, right, being able to handle more than 50% of the most common call drivers across IT, HR, and customer service management. Again, freeing up your support staff to focus on actual value-added tasks. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Shashikant. He's going to give you a brief overview of the conversational dashboard for those of you who are unaware, and then come back to me. We'll do some more slides and we'll do some back and forth. So with that, Shash, are you there? And do you want to take control of the screen share?
Yes, Victor. Thank you. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the people who joined the call. Myself, Seshkant, I'm part of the product management team at the Conversational Interfaces team or Conversational AI platform. So before me getting into the deflections, I would like to start with the introduction of Conversational Analytics dashboards. Let me quickly share my screen. So I'm going to show you the virtual agent dashboard. So this is the dashboard, homepage of the Conversational Analytics dashboard, where you have the complete visibility of the performance of the virtual agent deployed inside the organization. So to get to this page, you just need to search for dashboard. So under the conversational interfaces, we have the virtual agent dashboard. You just click on that, and you come to the dish overview page of the virtual agent analytics, where we pretty much sum the overview page basically tells you about the first three important metrics on the deflections and the amount of deflections the contributed by the virtual agent inside the organization. And we also divide this number across the different patterns. We come to the deflection patterns in the next slide, or the next topic actually. And we also show the KB articles that were shown or that were helped to deflect these number of tickets. And I quickly run through some of the metrics to give you the complete visibility of the dashboard virtual agent metrics that we represent here. We talk about the active users, the number of conversations, and the success rate of virtual agent, and topic flows completed. So these two metrics are also equally important. VA success indicates the conversations completed without escalation to the live agent. And this is an important metric as well, so that you come to know what's the percentage of success for my virtual agent. And here you can clearly see that nearly 60% of the time virtual agent is successful, and 40% of the time it goes to the live agent. There could be multiple reasons for the transfer to the live agent that you can come and dig into the conversations data from here as well. And 82% of the topic flows completed means rest of the 20% people are not completing the topics. Maybe it's the issue with the way topic got developed, or some issues with the user is not able to provide enough data. There will be various reasons, or some of the integration calls might be failing. So this is also an important measure for the success of the virtual agent, along with the other deflection metrics that are represented there. And the overview page also talks about when it comes to top categories, right? We all divide the topics across multiple categories, like could be ITSM topics, or CSM, or employee related workflow, employee related topics. You can divide the topics across multiple categories, and then you can see category wise how many of them are completed, how many of them incomplete. And similarly for the topics as well, how many times this topic was completed. You're looking at the software access as a topic that got accessed almost 64 number of times for this time region. So I just selected the top, let's say for last 3 months. this topic got initiated or executed 64 number of times, and you can see the order. And similarly, you can also see the incompleted topics as well. So as you could see here, food menu is the most incomplete topic. There is something wrong with the way it was developed. Some sort of, this matrix gives you the, some visibility into how your topics got initiated and completed as well. And similarly, we also divide the transaction count across multiple channels that were configured. Here we have 3 channels configured: web client and Slack and Teams for this virtual agent, and the breakdown of the conversations across these channels. And similarly, we also represent the conversation end state, how the number of conversations ending for this conversation end state. So conversations could be ended by in various end states. Some of them it could have completed successfully, or agent could have closed it, or user could have closed it. Some conversations might be timed out. Like that, we represent the various end states, and then the number of times that state got occurred. So this is the overview page, and there's a very consolidated view of how the overall performance of the dashboard virtual agent. Coming to the other page where we give the usage level metrics. So this depicts, how many times the VA was only initiated, how many times the request to live agent was requested, how many times the agent only initiated transfer conversations are there, and the average conversation time frame here is also depicted for the time period here. And the language distribution, how many times the Spanish conversations initiated versus the English, and the notifications, actionable notifications sent, and how many of them expired versus the topics that got initiated by the app notifications. We can add few more metrics to this page, but pretty much this is fairly what we have for the Rome up to Rome version or San Diego version, new recent release. The conversations tab is an important workspace where we give the data of the conversations, data related to the exact conversations between the user and the virtual agent, and the user and the live agent as well. So let's say this conversation got started for this time frame that we present here, and we also give for this timeline or timestamp, it got started, the start time and end time, and the user ID we represent. And you can come to the transcript section here where you can see the topic, the exact conversation that happened between the user and the virtual agent here. As you could see here, I was asking about some sort of topic context as my the search term, so the topic name, and then bot is asking for some, entering some keyword, and then user is giving some sort of input to that. As a result, it was showing some sort of data from the bot or from the knowledge search. So you can tend to see the exact conversation here as part of the conversations. So you can select any conversation and then happen to you can see the conversation, the exact conversation between these two parties. And also you have the editors also here where you can pretty well deep dive into the specific channel wise or time wise, or you can filter the data as per your requirement. And we also have users tab, which is equally powerful capability where you can see the all the active users and their conversations with the system. And we have the topics tab where we give the detailed analytics on the topics inside the virtual agent. So what are the worst performing topics? What are the best performing topics? As you could see here, The software access topic got initiated or executed most of the time in terms of the number of times they are executed for the given period of time. And the spokes that are invoked as part of the topic execution, as you could see here, the virtual agent API got initiated most of the time compared with the other spokes as part of the topic execution. And we also talk about the topic level metrics and how percentage of the time they were initiated, incompleted, and the live agent request for those topics. And we also have the topic category level information, detailed information. You can pretty well choose the topic that you wanted to look at for ITSM issues. Let's say you can get down into the talk conversation end state wise, how many of them have been transferred, live agent request, usage trend, and the channel distribution. And you can also drill down to a topic level. Let's say you wanted to see the detailed metrics for the software access topic. You can tend to download those data, usage, or a given period of time, how the trend has been. So as you can see here in the month of Jan, it has actually is a good spike. In the month of Jan, it got more than 40 number of times it got executed, how many times the topic got completed, how many times it was incomplete, and how many times the live agent request was initiated. So as you could see here, there are 65 number of times it was not initiated. Sorry, here, as you could see here, number of times it got initiated. Around 65% of the time it got people requested for the live agent when they are here. Though the completion is good, but equally people are requesting for live agent transfer when they come to this topic. And you can also see this is also an important metric as part of the topics here. People can see what was the last access the node inside this topic. So typically people complete the end, come to the end node inside the topic 64 number of times. And some of the people just stopped at EI search one time. And most of the time they completed 60 out of 65 number of times, 64 times people visited the last node, and only one time people stopped at EI search node itself. I think pretty much is a detailed information at the topic level. And we also represent the details at the spoke level as well. This section particularly talks about all the spokes that are used inside the topics here. Coming to the next tab, NLU predictions. This is, I can say this is basic stuff. We are trying to improvise the per model analytics, where we want to represent how many times the NLU was correct, how many times NLU was incorrect, and how many times NLU was not able to match the user request to any of the intents inside the model. So you get the distribution of correct, incorrect versus unmatched percentage for all the NLU models deployed in the system. And the graph here pretty much depicts, how many times intent got auto-selected, how many times the intent was correctly detected, intent and content was wrongly detected. So we just represent that trend here. And some sort of, we highlight what was the correct predictions and the incorrect predictions and auto-selected predictions. Auto-selected predictions are nothing but the confidence score was pretty much high, and NLU went ahead directly executing these intents without asking for the confirmation from the user. So we just highlight the top 5 things here for each category. And in the near releases, this page will be completely revamped and will be more insights on the NLU performance. Coming to the next tab, user search metrics. This is equally powerful capability that got introduced as part of the San Diego release, where we are depicting the user search metrics is something where we wanted to throw the analytics on the what sort of content is being shared to the user and how good is that content at the end of the day. So people are asking for this query and we showed something, but that user did not click any of the results that were given. So it pretty much all the links or the information that was shared to the user, we give the analytics on this information. You know, how many times the queries resulted with no clicks. User asked for something, but we assured something, we delivered something, but user did not click on any of these results. And similarly, we also represent the queries where there are no results at all. The user asked for something, but virtual agent was not good enough in terms of identifying the relevant data to the user. So for that, it might demand the creation of new knowledge articles. These insights will really help the admin to know the quality of the data that is showed to the user or shared to the user and the effectiveness of the data that is shared to the users. Coming to the next two sections, we give the trending queries and trending content, which is mostly used, mostly asked query and mostly shared content with high click percentage of the content. So this way these are the 4 sections that we deliver the content usefulness to the administrator. And the content could be coming from AI search or contextual search, or even the content might be coming from the topics itself. Sometimes the topic developers gives the links inside the topic itself. That also we track the effectiveness of the links that were shared from the topics. So this is the user search.
Just want to give you a heads up. We're about 20 minutes in, just doing a quick time check.
Yep. Thanks, Victor. Yeah, I will be summing up the other sections and the custom events page where you can build custom events and then get the detailed metrics on the custom events that you built. Here, the AI search results displayed is the custom event that I built, and then I see the data trend, how this is occurring over the period of time. And these are the custom metrics that you build as part of the custom events, where you built in the title, document table, description, data source, and all. And the another important metric, important feature that got delivered as part of the ROM was a funnels concept, where it helps you to identify where users are dropping inside the conversation. So one of the challenge most of the admins face is that people start the conversations and then leave in between. And we need to identify which step in the conversation people are dropping. And funnels are going to help you to identify that step in the conversation. And we will get into the funnels as well as part of the discussion. And the next section is on the issue auto resolution, where we sum up the metrics once the issue auto resolution is deployed. And we give the detailed metrics on the intents that matched with the topics and intents without matched topics and all. Maybe I just leave it here. So let's quickly get into our topic for today, deflections and funnels. So as you could see here, right, in the first section, we have the deflection metrics here. For this time period, VA contributed around 46 deflections, and those deflections were categorized for these deflection patterns. So deflection patterns are VA self-resolving and PA password reset pattern, VA search reserved pattern. And these deflection metrics are per configuration. We'll come to know what's the configuration as well. You can switch between these configurations and these metrics will change. For this software deflection configuration, there were around 23 deflections, and those patterns, these 23 were distributed for one deflection pattern. And the KB breakdown here. Since there are no KB shown for this, so this style is empty. And as briefly given by the definition, right? Deflection. Victor has given the definition of deflection, and deflection metrics basically helps you to understand the how much of deflections contributed by the virtual agent to the organization. So that's the critical metrics that helps you to justify your investment inside the virtual agent. So anything that needs to be tracked first needs to be measured. The way we measure the deflections is we have introduced the new topic block called the deflection topic block that needs to be inserted inside the topic flow. When you feel that, okay, at this point, as you can see in the image, right, in the downside, the image in the flow here, the deflection example is the top node topic block here. So as part of this execution, the deflection counts gets incremented. So these out of the box deflection will be executed when the user control goes through that way. So let's say once you have reached certain journey inside the topic, as a topic developer, you need to decide, okay, when the user reaches this position, most of the job is done. You may want to count the deflection. So that's where you need to insert this new topic block that marks the deflection as part of the topic execution. Okay, so the total count of execution, execution count of deflection topic blocks gives the total number of deflections inside the virtual agent for the given time frame. Okay, now coming to the deflection patterns, right? We have 4 out of the box deflections patterns. First one is VA self-resolving, VA triaged and created, VA intercept and resolved, and VA search served. So coming to the definitions of these patterns, right? VA self-resolving is something where VA was able to resolve user requests before user needs to go to the live agent or some sort of manual introduction. Let's say password reset examples, right? And you may want to simply automate that stuff. Let's say people come and ask for, I need to reset my password, and then virtual agent just asks for the information and does the executes the workflow, which VA resolves on its own. So in this case, when you are doing some self-resolving stuff, right, where bot is actually executing certain tasks, avoiding the manual intervention, then you can consider putting your deflection into this category. Coming to this VA triaged and created. So where this section, where you can, put your deflections to this category when VA is triaging or collecting certain actionable information and then creating the instant or creating the service request to the right assignment group, where we avoided back and forth between the support person and an end user. VA was able to triage the required or actionable information much ahead, avoiding manual back and forth between these information exchanges. And it was successfully able to create certain requests and assigning to the right assignment group. In this case also, you can consider this as a deflection. And the third category is the VA intercept and resolved. In this case, let's say there was some request and it got created inside the system. VA goes and intercepts all the requests inside in your system. And when there is a matching intent or matching topic that VA can do, it goes ahead and then, engages with the user that, hey, I know you have asked for this request, I can help you out. And, is it okay for me to solve this request? And VA intercepts and resolves this case. For this number of cases, right, you can also include, if a topic is actually catering to those sort of requests also, you can map this deflection to this category as well. And the fourth one is VA search sort. Sometimes VA does the knowledge search and serves the required information to the user. So for this case also, you can put this category. And typically the knowledge breakdown, the section in the dashboard, right, in the visual, that is event guide. The KB breakdown category basically comes to the VA search sort category. Then you may ask, okay, out of the 4 deflection patterns, is there any way that I can create my own pattern? Let's say all your password reset cases, right? You may want to create certain custom pattern. Okay, all the software access patterns, and you may want to create new pattern, and then you may want to distribute that, count the deflection to that pattern. That's pretty much possible. Let me quickly get into the demo of this, how this would look like. For this, I have to share my screen. Let me take the one example, one topic. Let me show how the topic block gets executed, was built. So as you can see here, the topic, right, we are asking for the application name for the user. So user selects one application out of these 2 choices, SAP and OneDrive. And if the decision is the user input is OneDrive, we come to this path and then we just execute this flow. For this example, I just put down this message like OneDrive access workflow initiated. And once this is done, and this is where we wanted to mark the deflection. Okay, my job is here done. Most of the part is done. Then before coming to the end, I put this deflection. Okay, when the user comes to this path, it's more or less the job is done. I would want to, increment the deflection count. So I just put this deflection a block here and drag and drop here. And if you just select it here, and you can provide the configuration. So for this, I may want to create the new deflection configuration software. I'm not choosing the VA default configuration, whatever is given. Rather, I created a new configuration under software. I may want to put the deflection pattern as new deflection pattern, software access as the new deflection pattern here I created. This is a custom deflection pattern I created. And that's it. So when you execute this topic, the count gets incremented. Let's see, in the deflection software configuration, the deflection count is 23. And let's try to execute this topic and see if this count gets incremented. Currently, what we have is 23 number of deflections. So I would want to execute the software access topic. It is asking for which application do you need access to. I'm going to select OneDrive. And yes, by this time, the topic flow could have been executed. Let me come and then see this dashboard is reflecting the. Yeah, earlier it was 23 and now it is 24. And this is the pattern it is distributing the logic, distributing the count. So that's how you need to, use the topic block. And when it comes to defining the configurations, right, where do you define custom configurations and all, right? You can do this in the settings page of the virtual agent. So we come to the conversational analytics settings page here, and you just come to the virtual agent settings. When you come here, we have the deflection metrics section. So you just come and then, see what are all the deflection configurations that you have defined. So I have used the deflection configuration software under this. And I may want to create a new pattern. Let's say I want to create new pattern. All the SAP access pattern. And you may want to define what is the outcome. Is it going to be the confirmed deflection or no deflection or potential deflection? So for these cases, let me say it's a confirmed deflection. And you may want to also associate some of the primary table to which you wanted to associate this deflection to. If it is incidents, you can have the, associate the incidents table, and it's not mandatory though. So I just leave this, and yeah, I just created new SAP access pattern. And I may want to come to the designer, and 1 second. Let me come to the designer and edit this topic. I came to the designer. So let me edit the topic deflection node pattern to the newly created pattern here. So under the deflection software configuration, let me choose to SAP flow that is just created. So SAP access pattern. So let me save this and publish the data to the model so that we get the new definition. Let me go ahead and execute the pattern node topic again here. The topic got executed. So let me refresh this page. It should be 25. At the same time, the pattern also should be reflected here. Yes, you can see here, right? Earlier it was 24, now it is 25. And the software pattern, deflection pattern, software access was 24, and the new pattern is software SAP access pattern. For that, the deflection was contributed to 1. So that's it on the deflection patterns. And I would like to quickly jump on to the funnels feature where the main goal of the funnel feature is to identify where users are dropping in the conversation steps. So the conversation can have multiple topics and various steps inside the topics as well. So let's try to see how the funnel, creating a funnel would look like. Before this, let me show you how a funnel would look like, right? So when you create a funnel, right, this is how it would look like. So each bar here represents the number of users at that particular step inside the funnel. So here there are 100 users, and when they start this, they are starting the password reset with no SSO topic. And then they are entering into the step 2, where they are required to provide email address. And when they come to this step, only 80% of the users coming over here, and 20% of the people are dropping at this point in the topic or conversation. So you can see that, okay, people might be having some challenge with providing the email address at this step inside the conversation. And the third step is like the node answer any security question, where the bot might be challenging with some of the security question. And this is where it would instruct the user. We'll have the number of users at this step. So looking at this step, right, you may want to see, okay, if here users are starting and users might be ending here. And you may want to see the breakdown of at each step. Which step is actually causing more user drops off? That's the whole intent why the funnel is going to be useful. And you can define maximum of 10 steps inside the funnel. And the three tiles here talks about the percentage of users who made through all steps defined here. And let's say your goal might be, okay, when I'm starting this topic, I want to track each and every flow inside the topic. For, let's say, for this topic I developed, right? Of all the users who started this topic, software access topic, and I may particularly wanted to see how many people came to this flow and finished it. Okay, that if that is my goal, I can build a funnel for OneDrive. I can build a funnel for SAP Flow and see the overall breakdown of it. Or you may also want to see, I want to know all the users who came to access the software access flow, and then they entered into this node application, asking for the application name, and they selected OneDrive application, and then before ending, right, they may say that before ending the conversation, they could have asked for live agent request. That could be your case. You may want to see how many people access the OneDrive and then how many people went to live agent. Okay, so that could also be one area where you may want to build a funnel, right? So this is where the use case where you can build the funnels. So yeah, coming to the second step, right? Here we depict the number of users who made through all steps. Out of 100 users who started here, 10 users actually made to all steps, which means that 90% of the people dropped, 90 users dropped from step 1 to the last step. Okay. And we also highlight, okay, what is the biggest step for user drops? Step 1 to step, there is a maximum loss, which gives an indication to the admin, okay, there is something wrong at step 2, right, which might be causing more user drops off, right? So as an admin, you may want to focus this step and then try to improve that flow to avoid a bad user experience. So let's quickly go ahead and then build one funnel. So my goal is to know the list of all users who traverse to this flow. Let's say OneDrive flow. I may want to see how many people went through this flow. That let's try to build some simple use case funnel. OneDrive users. You may want to see OneDrive users flow. Okay. And you may want to see of all the active conversations, or user can start from any conversation. They could be coming from any conversation and they accessed the topic called software access topic here. So which is a standard topic. And let's see, I'm getting the software access. This is my step 1 or step 2. Okay. And that step 3 is, and I was particularly interested to know the users who came to this path. Okay. This path name is OneDrive flow. Okay. We have the name here, OneDrive flow. Let's try to put that flow inside the, okay. So that's next step is, okay, people who are accessing software access topic, you may particularly want to drill down to the list of users who came to OneDrive flow. OneDrive flow. Okay. And yeah, let's try to quickly see this pattern. So let's, might take some time, it's going to take some time. So let's see the other areas. So in this example, right, we have the list of already created funnels here, where you just see here, right, OneDrive users, we just created this funnel, and you just need to click on this and then the visualization would start appearing. So for past 3 months, right, from 11th of January, so November 2021 first to the the date, March 1st, last 3 months. Of all 22 active conversations, or sorry, 22 active users, 3 users only initiated the topic, software access topic. Out of all 3 users, nobody came to OneDrive flow. That's the output we got here. And the step 1 to step 2 is the biggest dropping point here. That's how the computation was done on this funnel. I think we reached to the good details on these 2 topics. I would put a pause on the demo portion, and then if we have any questions, we're good to take.
Great, thanks, Sesh. So I hope this was a great overview of the Conversational Analytics Dashboard and all of its abilities. We do have a poll for you. If our fellow host could show that poll, we are interested in the level of your virtual agent implementation maturity. While you fill out the poll, I did want to highlight a question that was asked that bears repeating. So this dashboard that you saw today was a replacement or an upgrade from the performance analytics or platform analytics for virtual agent that was delivered in pre-Quebec. We are no longer building that out. So we do recommend, if you're in a Quebec or later instance, that you use this dashboard that you saw today, not the performance analytics or platform analytics dashboards for VA that came perhaps in an Orlando or Paris release. While we do the poll, if it's all right, I'm going to share. I think I'll just share our question or Q&A slide, but also have some links on there. Let me do this. So yeah, we are, again, product managers for conversational interfaces. Virtual Agent does have its own community, so feel free to stop on by and check it out. The link is in, I think Thomas is pasting in the chat. Otherwise, you can see the link on the slide. We also have our own Virtual Agent and NLU Academy as well, which goes every other Tuesday. Yesterday, we just did one on enabling video and virtual agents. So you can see we have a link for that as well in the slides there. We're also open to any other questions you have. So feel free to put them in the Q&A box while you fill out the poll.
Okay, great. Thank you, Victor and Shesh. So let's see, we have some questions coming out. I don't know that this one is directly related to the content. So let's just see here if we have more come in, but really good information, especially if you're someone that has never seen this or used it, or you've definitely been asked to do some deflection information on, anything that's coming in via virtual agent or other, wherever else. This is, just really good information. So I appreciate the two of you spending some time with us today and giving us that. So let me go ahead and ask or Adam is going to go ahead and type that. Adam, unless you want to do it out loud.
We can do it out loud while we're waiting. So the question that came in was about the limit on the number of elements for a breakdown in performance analytics. And how it comes back, how we compare to reporting specifically as well. I believe, and if anybody wants to correct me, I believe the out-of-the-box limit for the number of breakdown elements is it 1,000? It's 1,000, 5,000, or 10,000. It's one of those. It's certainly not 100. You can go above 100. There are restrictions for reasons why we have a limit there, and the base reason is we materialize the scores and we store the values of the elements. So at some point in time, you just have reporting, and we're not getting the value out of the KPIs that we're driving. So there is a limit, and the more elements you have in your breakdown, that can cause performance issues. I like to keep it under 1,000. As long as it's under 10,000, you're generally okay. But 1,000 is better, and 100 is even better than that. And if you are over 100, you want to make sure you're using elements filters. You're using the widgets that are using the personalized visualizations. a human can't browse 1,000 things, right? Maybe 100. I don't know what the number is. Maybe you can scan over 100 things, but nobody's going to scan through 10 pages of 10 things, and certainly not 100 pages of 10 things. So we want to focus that up if we can. Hierarchies are really useful for this as well, where we can roll up those values into more meaningful elements. There's a great lab on that. I think, Dan, it's your lab on Now Learning about hierarchies. So I'd recommend doing that. And I know we've talked about it in some of our previous Academy sessions as well, but Dan did a great lab on it and how to kind of build those things up. The limit's there for a reason. And if you really are just reporting and I need to do something like a breakdown by assigned to, you're better off in reporting generally. Those aren't great KPIs. You can do it. And, but you want to understand what you're doing, and breaking down by group might be better to do as well. So
yeah, I want to say there is a property for Analytics Hub itself that says, like, for Analytics Hub to visualize
there's the number of elements that'll be displayed. Yeah, there's
that's the 100.
That's on the
by
score
default.
sheet. Ooh, that could be.
That's the score
yes.
sheet, but then there's also one that's Analytics Hub too.
You're right. You're right, because Analytics Hub is going to show a chart. So I'm sure there is a limit there as well for KPI details in Analytics Hub, but that can be that limit's not a collection limit. That's a display. And then when you search, so if I search for Adam, it'll show me mine. But if I don't put a filter on, then it won't show anything, because it's not going to show 1,000 lines on the chart. So that's where it comes to be really important to make sure you're using those elements filters or personalized visualizations in your widgets, so that there might be 1,000, but it's only showing me the 5 people from my team. So there are, like I said, there's some other sessions on that. The hierarchy one's really important. Look at the other tools to make it useful. Yeah, if you want to go from 100 to 200, you want to go to 1,000, that's okay. Be conscious of what you're doing. You may want to watch some of those other sessions about things you want to consider. But if you're going to go to 100,000, don't. You're just not going to want to do it. It's going to cause lots of other headaches for you. Looks like we got another question about VA as well.
Yeah, I think Victor just answered. So the question was, what rights are needed for virtual agent, and he shared Pro and Enterprise. That was related to that question, right, Victor?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah.
So if we have VA in use, are we likely licensed for conversational analytics application? I'll check ourselves, but I thought I'd ask before I get too excited.
The answer to that is yes. You have the analytics dashboard if you have the virtual agent entitlement. Basically, if you have ITSM, HR, or CSM Pro or Enterprise, you have everything that we showed here today, along with virtual agent.
Awesome, thank you. And just looking at the poll here real quick, I think 68% have not implemented. So this is a really good Academy session for that, with also some in-depth information that was shared. So hopefully all of you that said not implemented yet will hopefully change that after this Academy session. So really good information. And Victor, I don't know if you want to speak to the poll anymore or just that.
Is it possible to show the results, or we can do that offline? But yeah, I
thought everybody was seeing it. There you go. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, like was mentioned, we definitely invite you to certainly, if you're entitled for it, to try it out. Again, visit our community or our product docs to get started with the virtual agent or to try it out. Coming in the San Diego release, you saw a preview of this in Shesh's exercise. We do have a new conversational interface homepage that basically gives you guided step-by-step, including recommended steps on how to turn on your virtual agent very quickly, very easily, and get fast time to value. So yeah, again, check it out, and with the dashboard, you can definitely show your stakeholders the value, usage, and effectiveness of that virtual agent. That's the goal. So yeah, no, that's all I've got. Again, okay. If there's any questions, feel free to visit our community.
I think there's one. Maybe it's a related question. Looks like there, but saying if we have VA in use, are we likely licensed for this conversational analytics application?
Yeah, we
And-
answered that right before we started talking about the poll, and he was saying that yes, it is.
Okay.
It is there for them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think they kind of go hand in hand there, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that one.
and there's a new comment by Mr. Rogers there. As Shesh can correct me if I'm wrong, but in general, we have parity, if not more than parity, between the existing platform analytics dashboards virtual agent and what you saw here today. This is simply migrating some of those dashboards over to a technology that can kind of like track the topic node to node action more. And then we build even more stuff on top of that. So there should not be a parity issue as it relates to virtual agent. If you're referring to the other questions, then, or the other PA dashboards, then that may be
right. Yeah, there's other PA functionality that the classic dashboard still has.
But we can switch and use both, right? So if I can still use my standard dashboards for all my ITSM reporting, all my HR reporting, everything.
Correct.
And then when I want to dig into conversational analytics, I can use that module and then use this dashboard. It's not an all or nothing, right? I don't. If you're focused on conversational interfaces or a VA, use this dashboard. I mean, at least use it in conjunction with this one for this purpose.
Right. I see another question by Scott here. Do the analytics work with third-party portals in iframe? Good question. I believe the answer to that is yes. As a channel, it'll still show up as a web conversation, right? Because we only have web, mobile, or Team, Slack, etc. So it won't show you whether it's like internal or external, but you can still use, again, either platform analytics or some other, or you create a custom event to say, hey, this came from a portal that was not Service Portal, Employee Center, et cetera. And then by process of elimination, you can kind of figure out whether or not this was a web conversation that came from an external portal.
Okay.
Your raised hand here too. Mike, does he want to? I know we're just right up at the top of the hour, but do we want to make unmute Mike here real quick and see if he wants?
Sure.
He had a raised hand.
Go ahead, Mike.
Or maybe he didn't intend to raise his hand.
I gave him permission. Maybe he was just air high-fiving us.
Okay.
Air high five back.
Yeah. So, so real quick, just so because we're at the top of the hour, we got about a minute left. So Mike, if you do have a question, you put that in the community on the event, and then, just tag myself and Victor, and we'll make sure that we get you an answer to whatever you're looking for. So quickly, just kind of go through some other things real quick. Just make sure that you're checking out the community. Great information there, not only just the Academy sessions that we have here now, but also you can ask questions and get information around getting started and how you hit the ground running, and just really good information there in the community. Hopefully all of you are there. If not, you should get there and get an account. All of the Academy sessions are here. We have an Academy page. So all of the future stuff is there, along with any previous that we have, and we have that broke down by year. And all you got to do is click on any one of those and you can get to that information. And it is also out on YouTube. So this information will be on YouTube later. The event will be updated later with this information as well. And don't forget about Now Learning, not only for platform analytics, but also, like Victor said in the chat with his subtle plug, which was good, that there is virtual agent training that is there as well. So take advantage of Now Learning, get you an account, and get all the information that you can there. And also some other Academy sessions that you might be interested in: Creative Workflow and Platform Academy, Mobile App Academy, and also Virtual Agent Academy, which Victor already led to. So the next time that we meet in 2 weeks, we'll be talking about what's new in San Diego, analytics features. We'll unpack all of that. That is a 2-part session because of the amount of stuff that's coming out. So join us in 2 weeks for that. And with that, thank you. And we are glad that you joined. We look forward to you joining every week. And if there's anything else that you need, find us in the community and hit us up, and we'll go from there. So thank you again.